delete where in. So let's write a simple SQL statement in our script to delete Jim and Bob. So to delete multiple rows, a delete statement needs to be executed for each row that needs to be deleted. So you can see the problem here is we're having to hard code in Jim and Bob into our statement. So first let's check the table. Jim and Bob are in there. Run the script. And this delete statement will be executed twice to delete both Jim and Bob. And there they have gone. So before going any further, we are going to use an execute many statement to insert multiple names. So this is what we saw in a previous unit. If we run this just gives us more names to delete. We now have 5 rows in the table. So now we're going to write an example of how to delete multiple rows based on a list of names. So we need to create an SQL statement from a Python list of names. So our list of names here is Jim and Bob, as before. And within our statement, we're going to put in %s placeholders. Now you can see here that the number of placeholders matches the number of names in the list. So this means this statement will only work for lists that only have 2 items. So really what we need is dynamically alter the number of %s placeholders based on the number of items in the list. So you just delete that space there as we have a tabbing issue. And if we run this script, again it's going to work. It's going to delete Jim and Bob, but again that statement is being run twice, once for Jim, once for Bob. So this is where the power of Python comes into place. So we're going to use the Python console to check this out. SQL has a way of deleting multiple rows. If we write a where clause that matches multiple records, then we can delete them all at once. So the first thing we need to do is work out how to turn a list of names into an SQL statement. So we're going to create this list of names. So we need to work out how to get from Jim and Bob to delete from friends where name is in %s. So we're going to use a few clever Python tricks to get that done. So we found the length of that list is 2. Now we need to create the right number of %s symbols. And we're going to store them in a list and turn them into a string later on. So there's our list. Now we need to turn that into a string that's separated by commas. So there's our comma. Use .join. And then we're using the same Python that we used in the line above, so %s multiplied by the length of the names. And now we have the string, comma separated. And all we have to do now is drop that string into an SQL statement between a pair of parentheses. So let's type out what that SQL statement might look like. So delete from friends where name is in, and this is using something called .format. So in between those curly brackets, we are going to inject the string that we've created above. So again, comma, .join. And %s multiplied by the length of the list of names. Now that's all getting a bit unwieldy in the console. So let's try converting that into a Python script. So firstly, we're going to change the name of that variable to list of names. We've already deleted Jim and Bob earlier, so let's try deleting the last two names in there. So now we're going to prepare the string with the same number of placeholders, the %s, as we have names in our list of names. And this has to be done in such a way that any length of list of names would work. So we're using format again. So we create this variable, format strings. There's our comma, dot join. There's our %s. And this will be multiplied, of course, by the length of the list of names. So in this case, it's going to be 2. So we'll end up with 2 %s's. And now we have to put that into our SQL command. So there's our curly brackets. I'm using the dot format. And we throw in format strings and a list of names. So that's the two variables from the lines above. So just exit out of the Python console and run the code. And now we will see we have an empty table. We've deleted the last two names. So this example demonstrates how Python can be used to create any SQL statement you might conceivably need.